Ethan was a hard-working taxi driver, always struggling to make ends meet. Every month, just as he received his paycheck, it seemed to disappear into a pile of bills. He often joked that his bank account was on a crude diet. Whenever money came in, it was instantly eaten up. One chilly evening, as he waited for his next fare, he noticed a woman standing by the curb, clutching a small child in her arms. Her eyes were red from crying, and she looked exhausted. A pang of sympathy washed over Ethan, and he pulled over. "Need a ride?" he asked gently. She nodded silently and got in, holding her child close. As they drove, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. He glanced at her through the rearview mirror, but she just stared out of the window, lost in thought. When they arrived at her destination, she reached for her purse, but before she could take out any money, Ethan held up his hand. "Keep it," he said with a warm smile. "Looks like you're having a tough day already." Tears welled up in her eyes. "I can't accept that, please." Ethan shook his head. "It's on me. Just take care of yourself." She hesitated, then nodded gratefully. As she stepped out, she whispered, "Thank you." Ethan drove home that night, wondering what struggles she was facing, but he reminded himself not to get too attached. Everyone had their battles. Just as he was about to drift off to sleep, his phone buzzed. He groaned, assuming it was a late-night spam call, but something urged him to pick up. "Are you Ethan, the taxi driver?" A calm yet serious voice asked. Ethan sat up. Yes." "Who's asking?" The man on the other end sighed in relief. "I'm calling on behalf of the woman you drove home tonight. She wanted to personally thank you for your kindness. It meant more than you can imagine." Ethan blinked, caught off guard. "Oh, it was nothing. Just trying to help." The man's tone shifted. "Actually, there's more. She comes from a very wealthy family, but due to a personal tragedy, she left it all behind and has been struggling on her own. Tonight was one of her lowest moments, and your act of kindness gave her hope." Ethan's heart pounded. He hadn't expected anything in return, but hearing this made his gesture feel even more meaningful. "Her family knows what you did, and they'd like to meet you tomorrow," the man continued. Ethan nearly dropped his phone. Meet me? Why?" "Just come," the man said with a smile in his voice. "You'll see." The next morning, Ethan found himself standing outside a massive mansion. He adjusted his worn-out jacket, feeling completely out of place. Taking a deep breath, he rang the bell. The door opened, revealing a well-dressed man. "Mr. James," the same voice from the call. "Ethan, thank you for coming," Mr. James said warmly. "Please come in." Ethan stepped inside, his eyes widening at the sight of marble floors, grand chandeliers, and paintings that probably cost more than his entire taxi. They entered a sitting room where the woman from last night stood, looking composed but emotional. When she saw Ethan, she smiled with genuine warmth. "Ethan, thank you so much. Last night, I was at my wit's end, and your kindness reminded me that there are still good people in the world." Ethan rubbed the back of his neck, feeling awkward. "I just did what anyone would do." "Not everyone," she replied softly. "Most people just ignored me." Mr. James stepped forward. "Ethan, her family wants to express their gratitude in a way that truly matters." Ethan frowned. "Oh, there's no need for that, really." Mr. James smiled. "We insist. They want to pay off all your debts and offer you a stable job in one of their companies." Ethan's jaw dropped. "Wait, what? Me? Are you sure?" The woman nodded. "You showed kindness without expecting anything in return. This is our way of giving back." Ethan stood in stunned silence. He had spent years struggling, barely making it month to month. And now, just because of one small act of kindness, his entire life was about to change. Days later, he started his new job. It wasn't easy at first, but he was a fast learner. Before long, He was thriving, working his way up in the company. The woman and her family became more than just employers. They became friends. One evening, as Ethan sat at home reflecting on how much his life had changed, he chuckled to himself. "Guess my bank account's diet is finally over," he muttered with a smile. Lesson and moral. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can create the biggest ripple. We never truly know what someone else is going through. And a simple gesture, be it a kind word, a helping hand, or even just a moment of compassion, can change their life in ways we can't imagine. The universe has a way of rewarding kindness in unexpected ways, so never hesitate to be the reason someone smiles today.